Outside of a schoolhouse in the San Luis Valley, 4-year-old kids walk half a mile through the forest. They do it every single day. This is Earthworm Forest School in Crestone, Colorado.
The important thing about forest school is obviously that we are in the natural environment. And in the natural environment, there are inherent risks.
This is Kalia Worm, the founder, director, and lead teacher at the Earthworm Forest School.
So an underlayer of what we're doing at forest school is we are actually carefully and safely letting children approach and experience risky play. This is important to develop their minds, their bodies, their confidence, and their ability to navigate in the natural world. It isn't just a theory that sounds good, and it's not just a feel-good ethos that makes sense. It's actually meeting the needs of children in a deeper way than we could imagine.
Kalia's path to this alternative method of early childhood education began decades ago, and hundreds of miles away.
So I grew up here in the San Luis Valley, and that's outside of La Jera in a little town called Bountiful. We were often just on the farmlands, and when we're not, I spent time camping, fishing, hiking, all the glorious outdoor things.
After high school, Kalia studied psychology at Pueblo Community College. She imagined becoming a therapist until a pattern in her studies changed everything.
I couldn't help but notice that over and over again in all the classes that I took, this theme of early childhood really being the foundation for your entire life and what can actually really set you up for success or not in adulthood. I decided to switch gears and started looking into working with children rather than adults.
That decision led her to Eugene, Oregon, where she began working with special needs children.
And I'm being trained by their adults and mentors. Over and over again, they would say, hey, if he's dysregulated, take him outside. And hey, sometimes this happens and you need to take him outside. And hey, we notice. And over, I get this narrative that taking these children outside covers a multitude of issues that they may be having and soothes them in a way that we could never replicate in the building. So while I was working with those special needs kids and continually seeing life transformation in the natural world, I decided to look up, is there such thing as a nature school? And could I possibly do that? And I discovered a teacher training for exactly that.
She discovered a teacher training program in Santa Barbara called the Academy of Forest Kindergarten Teachers. She launched a GoFundMe and made it happen.
Not only are we learning in this teacher training the science and human development studies that goes behind it, but we are seeing real life evidence that this actually helps and works for children, this ethos. So here in the United States, it's a brand new thing, but this has been going on for decades in the UK. So when we bring children to the world outside, what we see is their relationships improving, their self-confidence improving, and we see that when they feel self-confident and when they are able to take risks and achieve hard things, which is something that's behind the forest school ethos, they're actually more able to learn and succeed in the classroom and beyond for the rest of their years.
At that training in Santa Barbara, Kalia would meet someone who would give her her first forest school job opportunity.
So I had met a woman at that teacher training who had established a nature school in San Diego, California, and I reached out to her and asked if there was any job openings, and she did need another teacher. So I moved to San Diego on New Year's to start my job at All Friends Nature School in the canyons of the big city of San Diego. After working in the city for a while, I realized that it wasn't for me. Although I loved the school, it was a lot to navigate the big city.
So she made a bold move. As a single mom, she packed up and headed for Maui with a plan.
So being a single mom, I was thinking that if I moved to Maui and lived in a van by the beach, I could just live for free and I wouldn't have to work and I could just be a mom. Turns out it's illegal to live in your van at the beach in Maui with your kid. So immediately I started looking up resources, and there was actually a property that I could live on of this woman who owned a Waldorf-based nature school there. And she asked me to be the lead kindergarten teacher at that school in Maui, and I said yes, and so I worked there for 5 years.
Those 5 years deepened Kalia's practice. Working alongside experienced Waldorf educators, she learned to blend nature-based learning with the rhythms and handcrafts of the Waldorf tradition, an approach she still uses today. And throughout those years, she kept hearing about one place.
There was always this talk of this place called Crestone in Colorado. And I grew up in the San Luis Valley. I knew about Crestone, and I said I'd never move there. I just felt that it was, I don't know, I had judgments about Crestone. I thought it wasn't the place for me. I thought maybe I'd lose my mind if I moved to Crestone.
When it came time to leave Maui, Kalia considered further education in Fort Collins. However, it didn't feel right. Shortly after that decision, she got a call from a friend
who's saying, "Oh, I'm in this town called Crestone. It's just so lovely. You really got to come. It's so beautiful." And finally I gave in and I said, okay, everybody says I should check it out. And I had never been here, even though I lived in the valley. I found this local page that Crestone has. It's called Crestonians. And I went ahead and posted on there. And I introduced myself and mentioned the work that I do and asked if there was a community need for childcare, specifically for a school here in the area. And of course, there was a resounding yes. So upon moving to Crestone, we found the most perfect house. And we walked in the land and we found that it backs up to a green belt, which is just a short walk to the forest. And I walked to that forest and thought, this is it. This is where Forest School is gonna be. So I just went ahead and started off. I bought a wagon, I bought a tarp, got some teacups and some crafts, laid some blankets out, and we had our little forest school in the woods out of our wagon. And it was beautiful. It really was gorgeous. It couldn't have been better until the mosquitoes came and they ran us out of the woods. I had never seen mosquitoes like I had in this environment.
So Kalia moved the school to her backyard. She laid out tents, tarps, flags, blankets, and called it a school. This was the start of Forest School. And then COVID hit.
There was such a dire need for even elementary school kids to come to a school. So I had preschoolers through second graders in my backyard in tents and under tarp shelters, doing their hybrid schooling. And one day, as I'm sitting there with my 3 employees and 24 kids, somebody shows up with a clipboard and a badge that says State of Colorado Childcare Licensing. And he handed me a letter that was a cease and desist for doing unlicensed childcare.
It could have been the end. Instead, it became the beginning.
He did say, I see what you're trying to do. We are in a childcare desert. There's such a need for childcare around here, and we want to support you. So he said, you have the qualifications to become licensed, and there's actually a grant right now. It was called the Emerging and Expanding Childcare Grant. So I ended up applying for the grant, and I got it, and they gave me $60,000 to turn my pole barn garage into a schoolhouse.
In October 2021, Earthworm Forest School became officially licensed.
So rhythm is so important for the child, knowing what we're going to do every day. So we always follow the same sort of rhythm. So when the children arrive, they always have an anchor, a provocation that we have on the table, and it's always something that helps them develop their fine motor skills. So what we'll be doing is some stitching or some weaving. There's some handwork involved. We have a circle time, which is songs and rhymes. So there's lots of little sneaky ways that us teachers throw in some developmental enhancements in our circle time.
Then they share a communal snack with each other.
And so sharing a meal like that and these touchstone moments of connection really is what creates a functional classroom and group.
After snack, they gear up and head outside.
Rain or shine, we're out there. Snow or wind, we're out there. Sometimes in Colorado weather, it's cold and we're only out there for about 20 minutes, but other times we're out there for about 4 hours. So from the schoolhouse, we actually take the children half a mile to the forest almost every single day. So they can say that they walk a mile a day, and these are 4-year-olds. And they're very proud of it. And there's really such a whole world in the woodland environment. So we're transitioning from the cozy indoor home-like environment, and we're bringing that energy and that container to the forest. And that opens up a world of curriculum that we don't need to plan, but is there. There's so much to learn out in the forest. And they're really developing these senses that we don't think about or talk about a lot. There's the proprioceptive sense, which is where your body is in relation to the world that they need. There's the balance, which is really a way that they can engage their entire body so that they're ready for learning. When they're in the classroom, they actually need core strength and balance in order to sit still and learn in a desk. So when children are needing to get ready to read, they have to learn how to use their eyes to track. So when they're watching a bird fly through the sky, that's what they're doing. They're going to have to walk on uneven terrain in the natural environment, which is engaging their full body, their core, and all of their brain. So we're really working this brain muscle to get them ready for all of the academics to come, that they can experience with their full body.
On the surface, it might look like a bunch of kids going nuts outdoors. However, they're developing a plethora of lifelong skills during their most impressionable years.
So when we're in the forest, we're exposed to risk, we're playing games that we might lose, we're doing hard things and accomplishing them with joy. And it's just building their self-esteem and building us as a group together. We're surprised about what children are already capable of. And we can be there as guides and as leaders to really encourage them to expand on their abilities, to trust themselves, to learn about the environment, and to grow as a person in many ways.
It's also a farm school where the kids get to interact with a variety of animals.
Taking care of animals and the stewardship of that really brings on a whole other level to these children. They feel accomplished when they can be the provider. They feel like they really matter. Their self-confidence is really enhanced. And just to see a relationship between children and the animal, it goes back to my psychology class days when we're learning that animals truly are therapeutic. And they get to experience, some children have never held a chicken before, and the joy on their faces the first time that they grab that chicken. Or they've never fed a horse out of their hand before, and that's another scary thing that they just love and they laugh about.
After the woods and the animals, they return to the schoolhouse for lunch, free play, and tea time for a sort of integration.
And the kids all know that I like making them do hard things. It's part of my thing, and I do it lovingly and with joy, and they learn to really love it too. After tea time, we get ready for their rest. They've had a long day, and the rest time is so important for how they grow. We know that their brains and their bodies grow the most actually while they're sleeping. So beyond the philosophies and the ethos and the styles and the ways that we're approaching this work and the science, everything that we can learn from books, all that I've learned in the teacher trainings, and I continue to learn, because to be a good teacher, you got to admit that you're always a student. I continue to learn. But what I have found is that beyond all that, the most important thing that you can have is love for the children. And that's the thing that ties us all together. And that's the reason that any school, especially this forest school, can be successful. When we're asking these children these things that may be a little hard, like balancing on a log across a creek or hopping from rock to rock, that in order for them to trust that we have their well-being in mind and to feel confident that we are capable leaders, they have to know that not only do we love them, but we like them. So the relationship that we have with the kids is one of the most important things, because children don't really learn too much from somebody that they don't like. And it's important that they enjoy spending time around us and that we know that we enjoy spending time around them too. Because forest school is just beyond a school and an ethos. It's the preservation of humanness, and it's cultural renewal.